Benson stalks police in Englewood. In her most bizarre live stream to date, Regan Benson spent her Saturday afternoon in Englewood, stalking a police officer she named as Robert, while a manhunt was underway, cackling and catcalling police as events played out around her. The live stream started with Benson standing in a parking lot of a shopping center, with an ambulance and fire truck to her right and police cars on her left. The two police cars pulled away at a tremendous rate of speed and tore out of the parking lot. Benson explained that the fire trucks were there for a second heat event, as she had been on scene earlier when an elderly black man was lying on the ground at the shopping center. She and another bystander assisted him, and she made a 911 call to get an ambulance on the scene. She continued to tell her story of helping the man as she got in her car to follow police cars, as an apparent manhunt was in progress. She claimed that the Englewood 911 dispatcher gave her attitude and wanted to know information that was not pertinent to the incident and should have sent an ambulance immediately to the scene with no questions asked. Instead of an ambulance, in her story, two police officers arrived on scene and began to question what was going on and eventually had to request medical themselves, as the incompetent dispatchers never sent help. Benson switched from the story at this point to berate a police officer identified as Robert, who had been the subject of Benson's scorn over the past week. The homeless activist going so far as to share a negative post about him on her YouTube community page. Robert was standing on an elevated sidewalk observing other officers who were down a hill from him, acting as a spotter as they searched for the subject of the manhunt. Benson, standing several feet from the officer, hurled insults at the officer and criticized police techniques used by the officers before Robert ran to join all the other officers in pursuit of the suspect. The suspect was apprehended, and Benson raced back to police officer Rogers' car to see if he was going to get a ride back to his car. That process was interrupted as she interacted with a member of the SWAT team who had flown the drone that had found the suspect. Returning to her own car, Benson let her followers know that she did not see a need for police for daily issues. She felt that they were only required to be warriors and should face mandatory dismissal from the police force should they kill someone in the line of duty. Benson then updated her plans for the future, as she claimed she'll be focusing more on exposing corrupt cops in Denver once her current lawsuits are settled in the area, with a personal target of an officer who had an encounter with her husband in the past. No homeless outreach was attempted in the live stream.